When do we start buying again? Hi, my name is Richard Lee. I manage the Stockradar.com.au website. We use a unique high conviction strategy to focus on stocks with a high probability of going up. The market thrown us a curveball last night. The US tried to rally yesterday, got nailed, but last night it unearthed a big rally, and the sudden drop in oil price shows us just where we're at with any trending attributes, especially on the stock market. We are nowhere, risk is on, so be careful. Okay, so no trend, no play, which is really what I do. We wait, watch, observe, the time will come. We don't have to do anything except preserve capital and wait for valid signals to emerge. That is the message. The jumping market makes us anxious and we think we see opportunities and we should be involved, but the odds actually increase of losing money, not making it. That's a fact. The trend is your friend. So back to the buying idea. Remember the COVID crash? Emotions versus facts. I can remember it clearly, talking to a lot of clients. Facts won out. Base your decisions on evidence. Okay, and now is a good time. I have my t-shirt on. It seems like I need to wear this every time because there's always something happening in the market, but certainly at the moment, cool heads are making cool decisions, and if they're not, the risk of losing money is much greater. Okay, we've got a very excited market, so be careful, not emotional or FOMO, fear of missing out. You should probably already be set, not chasing things, okay? Your position should be set, okay? Keep yourself always on track no matter what the market is doing. Remember last week's numbers on clawing back losses? It's hard. Don't put yourself at risk unnecessarily, okay? Only take as much risk as you can afford, okay? So we've got a little bit of resilience in our market, mainly because we're source stocks. We've got BHP, Fortescue, Rio, Woodside, Santos, all in the top 20, and they've been reasonably robust of late. So we're going to have a look at some of those as we go through today. Okay, so firstly what I'll get into is the overseas markets. This is our format for the day. Okay, we're going to go through the ASX 200 portfolio, look at some ASX stocks, and talk about trading tactics. Okay, trading tactics, it is cool heads make cool decisions. I just want to revise a few things for you, just to say you can take a step back and be cool. Okay, so first we'll go to the Dow Jones. Okay, it has been looking like it's going to be crumbling below support, but it is being resilient. Again, we saw the rally last night, which did pretty well hold us back in this S1 area. It's working very hard. The sellers are really trying to kill it. But it still seems to be holding. So, the rally is good. The pressure probably is down for the moment. So that's sort of where I lie at this stage. We've got a break in here. We've got a slight change here below the average, things like that. So although we've had some rallies, we've had more downside in the last couple of months than we have upside. So that's the pressure is still down. And the NASDAQ really does paint the picture a bit clearer. It's broken support. There's a bit of support down here possibly, but we're well below the average now. We've got some heavy volume. The momentum's now diving. So the sellers really are in control of this. And I can see in our market here, one day we've got information technology at the top, energy at the bottom, then we've got energy at the top, information technology at the bottom, and it keeps reversing around because they're the hot markets at the moment. They're the ones that are moving, okay? So let's go and have a look at some of the commodities. Okay, gold. Interesting, it's had a couple of rallies, it got killed last night, and you can see here, we've got this little resistance up here. We're at a very significant point here. If gold does get through, then it could run on, but at this stage, I'm not that convinced. It's been a bit of a fut sort of stop-start sort of situation. The volume hasn't been fantastic. The momentum's been good, but we still need to get through here on a price basis, as you know, to confirm it. So it rallied through yesterday, came back pretty sharply last night. Just quickly looking at our gold sector, looking at our gold price, it's also in a similar situation. It's had a good rally last night, which it's held pretty well. The Australian dollar weakened off a bit. So it's testing resistance. So our gold stocks haven't responded much as yet, but we're getting some reasonable support for the gold price. And if we have a look at the gold index itself, it's been coming down. It hasn't been responding to the increase in the Australian dollar gold price, but just more recently, the last week, we're starting to see a push off this major low here, and we're getting a bit of support through here. So it may be starting to look interesting, but again, go to your specific stocks, which we will do later on. I'll have a look at a couple of them for you to really get the right picture, okay? So that's the gold sector at the moment. Crude. Again, well, it's volatile at the moment. You can see we've ticked up into this R2 area very quickly. We've come back very quickly last night. I think it's probably just a little bit of sort of relief, a little bit of concern that the market got a bit too hot and it's come back. But still, when you look at it, the gains at 111, the gains are still pretty good compared to what it was a couple of months ago, down around $80. So the crude still looks okay, although it is volatile, which makes it a very difficult commodity to trade sometimes because we never really know what it's doing. But it has been going up. We're seeing a bit of a blow off at the moment, but we're still holding there at this stage. Okay, copper, again, a similar picture. It rallied and it's come back. It's hit this resistance and it comes straight back again. So again, it looked fantastic as of last week, but even this week it was looking good until last night. So it jumped through resistance now to hold. Well, it hasn't held it yet. It is only Thursday. We've got a couple more days in the US market to go yet, so we'll wait and watch on the copper price. Okay, so the commodities, crude, copper, gold, all were looking very good. Now all of a sudden they're not. So we're really getting this stop-start picture, which is making it very difficult at the moment. So that's why you need to set your positions, hold your positions, and if your stops goes off, you listen to them. If they don't go off, you hang on. So that's what I'm doing with a minimal stock pick group at the moment because the trends have disappeared quite a lot out of a lot of stocks. So there's only a few that we hold at the moment. Okay, so I'll just quickly look at the actual commodity index itself, which we've seen this picture for a few times recently. We saw this big break of resistance through here, and again, a big power thrust move up. But if we look at this week, it's come back a bit. It's been down to 35, it's been up to over 40, and it's now finished around 36.98. So, pretty volatile. That's the commodities world, and that's a very hard one to pick, so you've got to be very careful in there. Okay, now to go to the ASX 200. Again, it's looking okay. So I think mentioned earlier on that we've got this resilience, mainly from the resource stocks, which have been helping up because most of the market itself hasn't been that flash. So we can see here the pressure is still down. We've got this little bit of support down here to around about 7,000, which it's held for the moment. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pushes to that area and it's held, so there's some support pretty solid there. But overall, the bigger picture is a downward trend and lower lows, lower highs. So that's the story of perspective at the moment. So we can hope that the market's going to rally, but the odds are that it's probably not at the moment. So that's where I would think on that one. Okay, so if I just go through a few things there, the stock pick count is down another 2 this week to only 20. There's 17 stock picks of 167 covered, and there's 3 ETFs of 21 covered. So there's been a lot of stocks and ETFs fall out. The 5 stock portfolio still has 3 out of 5. The 10 stock portfolio has 4 out of 10. So again, they've had a little bit of a hit. Those things there. And on the sectors, we've got energy at the top now, and we know we sort of had a couple of stocks come in again last week which weren't in. I'm going to look at a couple a bit more later on. The property sector is also doing reasonably well. I noticed in the AFR yesterday there was a headline, the REIT's best reporting season in a decade, and that was from the AFR 9th of March. So when I look at when I go through the 11 property stocks that we cover, there's a couple of stocks we do hold, but a lot we don't. So price is still going down. So price isn't really confirming that AFR report. So we've got to really listen to the price. The price never lies, as you know. So it's confusing for some, but price is what we profit from and price is what we analyse. So although we can have reports out of the AFR saying that REITs are fantastic, reporting season is good, until price responds, we are sort of a little bit, we will stay neutral until we get the signals, because that's what the market is saying. And you can report things fundamentally, but really technically is what we really listen to, what the price is doing. Okay, so let's not muck around. Let's get on to some stocks. Okay, so that's this ASX 200. Okay, first stock we want to look at is Santos. Okay, we looked at that briefly last week as a possibility, and we can see what's happened here already this week. Okay, so if I just go back to here, we can see this big picture of Santos here. Okay, so again, the break has come. It did come this week. It looked great yesterday. It looks bad today. And I think it's probably down again today. So it may not hold this level again. So Santos still may not have a break this week. We've got a couple of days to go. Well, really just tomorrow, because today's going to be a weaker day. We've had some good volume push up through here. This is looking better, but we need the price confirmation to say, yes, it's going to move on the $9 area. And at this stage, it's looking a little bit dodgy. So we just need to wait for the confirmation. So it breaks through $9, breaks the impasse. It's a great start if it holds above there, and it hasn't done yet. Trend intensity is -1, so it's neutral. It's a standard side at the moment, so we just have to wait on Santos. Okay, one stock really that's not really following the energy or the information technology. It's just going about its own business. I listened to a very good interview with Ryan Stokes yesterday and Alan Kohler, just talking about what Seven Group's doing. Now, if we look at the chart, it's what they call a conglomerate, a bit like Wesfarmers. And the instos aren't so keen on conglomerates these days. They prefer to play their own sector plays rather than let specific stocks do it. However, when I look at this chart here, we've got this big resistance up here at R1 at $24, which is a big resistance area. But the stock hasn't responded to the market coming down. It's just gone sideways. And in fact, for the last couple of months, we're actually getting an upward slanting support here. So when I think about what's happened with Boral, and I know they've got a big play in Beach, which is getting a little bit better, but when I think about what's been happening here, this is looking interesting. If it does break through this R1, then it's probably going to have a pretty big run, because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4-year pattern really, or 3-year pattern of resistance. And it's failed here, but it hasn't broken down badly, which is always a good sign of strength from the buyers. And now it's weathering the market storm and going about its own business. So steady she goes as Seven Group finds support at $20, but we're really looking forward to break through 24. So keep an eye on this one. It goes about its own business pretty well. It's got businesses like Caterpillar, Coates, industrial service sector, which is a big service sector at the moment, that it's really built a big profile in there. So that's Seven Group Holdings, one to watch. Worley, not Worley Parsons anymore since the takeover. It's now Worley, and it again, not being too flustered, it's going about its own business. It'll probably be off a little bit today, I would expect. But we've got this very simple view here of a downtrend and a big trend reversal pattern, which has taken a couple of years to form. So it's not something that's happened overnight. We're not responding to a daily or a weekly move. We're looking at a couple of year pattern here of what buyers and sellers are doing. And the buyers are certainly showing a little bit more strength here. The sellers are just hovering up here. And we're pretty close to this resistance level. Again, it's probably off a bit today. But if we do see a break here, but I might just blow this volume up a little bit so get rid of that big spike there. And you can actually see here that the volume is quite good for this last few weeks as the stock has pushed higher. Momentum's positives. So we're in this situation, which we like very much, of a trend change occurring slowly but surely. We're starting to get a break of the moving average. We're breaking down trends. We're getting volume. We're getting momentum. Things are looking right. So in my conservative picture, I've got all those things in place, but I'm going to wait for the price to confirm it by going above this R1 level here, which is around about $13, $12.90, $13. So Worley Parsons is another one, probably not too concerned with what's going on in the world, just going about its business of absorbing Jacobs energy, and I think the market likes it, finally. So that's Worley Parsons for you. Okay, a couple of gold stocks to have a look at. We saw the gold price here. The Australian dollar gold price was getting better. And if we just get rid of all that again. Now, this is our leading gold stock, Newcrest. Trend intensity rating was -5 at the end of last week. Okay, and the price was down here. Now, we've had a big jump this week. It's probably come down today, I think, quite sharply. So we're still below this trigger point here. It got there and has come back again. We've got some good volume here pushing this rally, which is a really good sign. This is really significant volume. But momentum is still waiting. It's certainly saying the selling has eased, but we're just not getting the whole picture just yet. So it's still a bit fluid, but we're coming off a very big support area here, which is also a very promising thing. So it's sort of a low risk sort of situation here, but I really need to wait for this trigger point to go before I will go, and it tells me a trend may be developing. Okay, so all I'm doing is jumping on trends, and hopefully that will continue. At the moment, it's not confirmed, but things are looking good, and it may be turning the corner. Another one of the gold stocks, another leading gold stock is Northern Star. A similar picture here. We've got a big support level here. We've got some building volume. Momentum still hasn't confirmed anything at this stage. Neither has price. So price is still the key indicator. Trend intensity is still -5. Okay, so we've had a 50% drop in the price. Is this an opportunity? Well, it may well be, probably low risk buying down here, but I'm a trend trader, so I need to wait for a trend to develop. And if it goes above here, that's what I'm saying. Well, then it looks like a trend may well start to develop, and R1 may well be a target up around $16, $17. So that's Northern Star, and that's the gold. A little bit of interest finally for you, maybe. Certainly worth watching, I think, at the moment. Okay, so that's most of the stocks I've got for you. I'm just going to go down to the smaller end for the moment for a minute and have a little stock called Zimplats, who some of you may follow. It's been doing pretty well since sort of 2020 when it was down around $10. It's now up around 28. But we've had a nice little consolidation pattern from for last year. Then we've got this higher low situation occurring, which has pushed it through here. Okay, so this is a good consolidation. It's pushed through here. Trend intensity rating is 10. It looks okay. And if I go and have a quick look at the actual platinum price, it's platinum mainly. It does do other offshoot metals, but platinum's the main driver here. And if we look at platinum, it's also, we've had a rally, we've had a pullback, and now it's broken higher again. It may well be looking higher. We've got a bit of volume here, a bit of momentum, so it's starting to look reasonably interesting as well. So that's just something that may be worth having a look for you. Okay, so we've got plenty more stocks for you to have a look at on Stockradar. I cover 167 of them. I've just covered a few of them today, but you can sign up for a free trial and go and have a look at what I've got there at the moment. Okay, so this week we're going to go to trading tactics now. And, well, again, it's the cool heads, cool decisions thing, which, as I said, always seems to be there because there's always something going on in the market to worry about or get excited about. But really, we've got to step back, keep our cool head, and we'll make cool decisions. Okay, so just a refresher for you, a fairly quick one. A little refresher in dangerous times because we are seeing big swings. If you're trading energy stocks, if you're trading technology stocks, it is a bit of a wild ride at the moment. Okay, so a little refresher, don't put capital unnecessarily at risk, but still be in the game. So you don't need a lot of stocks. I have two stocks three stocks in the 5-stock portfolio, so I still have exposure there. I have 4 in the 10 stock, not a lot, but I still have exposure. At least I'm not losing money on those stocks that were going down, but I still hold the ones that are going up. So I'm just putting my money where the trends are, and I'm taking it out from where they're not. So I'm not putting capital unnecessarily at risk. Okay, so cool heads, cool decisions. Facts, evidence, control, discipline, poise, all those things you need in your trade plan, in your own mind, and that will tell you when to trade and when not to trade, okay? So keep your eye on the ball and keep focused, and don't get too carried away with the excitement. Okay, i.e. don't guess and then hope. So, well, I think this is going to happen. Maybe you think gold might be going up. You think 7 Group might be going up. It's too early to tell. Wait for confirmation. I know it's easy to get distracted, but you'll probably miss. Okay, and you don't want to do that because we go through that capital thing again. You start losing money, 20, 30%. Getting it back takes a lot more time. Okay, so it's simple really it's a very simple thing. You follow the rules of your trade plan, blinker out everything else, and one of the hardest things to do. So it's a step-by-step process, and you can see with 7 Group, you can see with Santos, I'm taking it step by step. Even the gold stocks, looking good but not getting confirmed. I haven't got that final step in place that says go, okay? So be careful. So create in your trade plan purpose, consistency, have an aim, reliability, and objectivity. And that will give you the dollar sign on the target. That's what you want to hit, okay? So it's simple really, follow that trade plan. Sorry, I went past that one. Cool heads make cool decisions. Game on, okay? Once you've got that, you can game on and you play the game and you manage it with a stop, okay? So that's what I want to talk about today. That was just a pretty brief refresher on trading tactics there about keeping your cool head. We're holding our poise and we're trying to keep control of ourselves. So we don't do something stupid, okay? Because we know when we do something stupid, but sometimes we do it. But we're being patient against a background of volatility and uncertainty. Okay, and that's difficult, so it's important to keep your cool. Okay, so stay safe, watch your trends, heed your stops, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.